Alright, I'm back. If you can hear me, refresh. Well, I guess if you can hear me, you've already refreshed. But I am back. Hello, hello. Hi. We'll see how long the camera lasts. I updated the software. I guess it needed an update. I'm not really sure the last time I updated it, but I downloaded a new version or re-downloaded the same version. Either way, I downloaded what was the newest version online, and then it required a quick reset of the computer. So I did that. That's why it took a little bit longer. So my apologies, but I'm here. The music's back. Everything seems to be in working order. Oh, no. My headphones wanted to have a moment. Okay. This happens too. AirPods are like, they want to connect too much to the computer. It's just a mess, y'all. I don't want the AirPods on the computer. I want the AirPods on my phone because I'm listening to copyrighted music. Oh wait, okay. The mic's not picking that up necessarily. There we go. There we go. No, so I was like, I don't feel like listening to video game music tonight, but I can't play copyrighted music on stream, so I play copyrighted music in my ears from my phone while the stream has the GameCube music. But my AirPods like to default to the computer, and then that cuts out desktop audio to the stream the moment they like initialize. So it's just a nightmare. I mean, it's nice that they're that connective, but I wish I had the option to like control it a bit more. There are technical difficulties in the air. Hopefully we get a good amount of time out of this though. All right. I guess I'm just gonna go because who knows how much time we have. Okay. So I darkened my paint a little bit. I could stand to darken it a little more, but I won't. Let me make sure I have my sound controls up and visible so I know if it cuts out on stream. All right. Here we go. I'm just going to start, I think, with the purple. The pink feels good, but I'll probably blend in the pink. See, this still feels... Maybe it's because it's so watery, it's like transparent. Probably a little bit of that happening. Yeah, there's definitely that happening. Yeah, I was sore today. I helped my husband paint a wall in his salon. Yesterday, my day off. Oh. So I was a little sore today at work. And still a little sore now. It was just like a big accent wall. It wasn't like a huge thing, but I'm kind of slow at stuff, so it took me a while. But it came out nice. I was happy with it. Once it was all done. This is... Let me see how dark the blue and teal look, because that's really the determining factor here. They don't look dark enough to me. I work at a paint store now, so it's like I can get the paint for a pretty good price. And it's good for me to like use it so I can talk about it a bit more and understand it. Not just like parroting bullshit that I've been trained to say. You know? So it was slightly beneficial for me. I mean, painting's painting, but people are scared of it. Still don't think these are dark enough. It's not. I don't want to add black because it's going to muddy it so much. I guess I could make like a gray, but even gray is going to do the same thing. I don't know. I think part of it's they're just a little thinner this time, so I'm gonna have to just try to add more. But yeah, we've been doing some stuff to that salon space because it was in kind of bad shape before we moved up there, in terms of cleanliness and sense of design. Hey, Bobby. How's it going? What's going on? Enjoying it. I'm like, it's Monday night. Mondays are interesting for me because normally people dread Mondays. I don't love Mondays, but I work all day Monday knowing I have Tuesday off, so it's like a Monday and a Friday rolled into one day. Thunderstorm earlier. We've been getting a lot of pop-up storms in the past like week or so. It looked like we were gonna get one today, but it didn't end up happening. This paint's like really watery by default, so the fact that it's watered down even more now is like, not great for me. First big one of the year. Ooh. We actually, it hailed here a little bit yesterday, but it was like over near my husband's salon, which is like 5 miles away from our apartment. And then by the time we got to the apartment, it was like sunny. It was bizarre. But yeah, that is about how it goes this time of year. Can't believe it's already almost June. How does this happen? Alright, it's definitely darker now. At least this blue definitely is. It's like darker than the gray is. Oh yeah, it's dark. You miss the cold? You know, I've always been a cold-natured person, so being cold is kind of miserable for me. 'Cause I always feel like I'm cold. Unless it's like summer and I'm in my car and I don't have AC. But um it's one of those things where you miss it when you don't have it, but when it's cold, I'm like totally miserable. I really don't want to redo this whole section, but it's just too light. Maybe I can go quicker since it's already been coated one time. Enjoy the food, Rissa. Well, these are definitely darker, so this will do. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Yeah. You can see what it just was versus what it is. I should try to stream on Monday nights more consistently. Sometimes on Mondays I have a hard time staying up. 'Cause it's like I need to catch up on sleep I didn't get. Alright. These now should be pretty dark and good to go. And I'll keep my pink and my white the same. I just get so hyper focused on like detailing. Even when it's a stage like this, it's not as important. But I do like to luxuriate in the details, so... I guess the good thing about these paints being thinner is that I'll get a more glazy effect where I can blend a little bit softer. Like they'll be a little more pliable. Thank you, Bobby. It's been we got a long way to go, but of course, it'll come out great. This one I feel pretty confident about, actually. I'm kind of excited to see where it ends up. I have like a pretty good vision. I feel like the sketch part, usually the sketch part's a little looser. I mean, for me, sometimes it's pretty much like color paint by numbers type shit, but this one it's gonna be a lot of paint by numbers with some embellishing details on additional layers once I get the base in. Like once I get all this underpainting and the colors in, then I can start to add in the details and layers on top of it, which is where the fun begins. I like this part too because it's a little more low stakes. Yeah, this is darker and better. This is what I was looking for. I should have kept pushing it before I did the other one, or before I did this the other night. How exciting. In case I don't know if Alex, you're still out there. Zeb returned to streaming. I was so happy. I was like, I'm gonna open Twitch and just see who's on, what's happening. And it was fucking Zeb. What a good day. Zeb came back. I don't know if it's long term, but it was nice to just, even if it's just for one day, I enjoyed it. If you're out there, Zeb, no pressure, seriously. You do you. Oh, he is? Ooh, for Jackbox Tuesday. I know, like, I've seriously had to scale back streaming. It's a hard find in life these days for me to get, like, many hours at night to myself to paint and have enough energy to do so. All because I gotta wake up at like 6 a.m. now. But I like my job, so I haven't found it to be as draining as my last job. I'm sure there will be days, you know? But I'm feeling generally more optimistic, especially compared to where I was this time last year. For sure. 2021 was pretty touch and go. 2022's been better. It's just been more tiring. I'm also just like getting legit old. You know? That is happening. I don't want to admit it, but it is. What can you do? I have been feeling like way older on Twitch the past like year since I slowed down on it too. Like, damn. Like, so old I'm out of place old. But I think that just is like a natural feeling. Whole decade's been touch and go so far. That's true. That is true. Feeling old is definitely a mindset. Some days I definitely don't, but yeah. Sometimes going to bed early just feels and sounds like the best choice. And so the story goes. Like, I'd love to, I don't know, I guess I could carve more time out between the hours of like 8 and 10 when I'm just kind of sitting on the couch with my husband, but I like those times, you know? They're great. All right, that's feeling a lot darker. Yeah. I can tell, like, here over, and here over. Basically along the bottom. Definitely darker. So that's what I was going for last time. I just didn't achieve it. So, quick little redo. Hey, Rascal. haven't been around much in a long while, but I appreciate you being here now. I've been well. Life's been pretty chill the past couple months. I wish I had a lot to report, but I really don't. It's just been a very low-key year so far. Other than helping my husband with the salon stuff and starting this painting and just kind of cute puppy stuff. She's getting groomed tomorrow. That is big news. It's been 7 weeks for her. She is a fuzzball. Love the colors. Reminds me. Ooh, Sailor Moon colors. Hell yeah. I'll take it. She's a cute fuzzball. She is. We have had to... I don't know. Like, I've tried brushing her this time. She's very squirrely. She'll let me do it if I, like, am slow feeding her. Which is hard to, like, have food nearby, brush her, and give her bits to keep her... You know, but I guess we need like better brushing supplies and like a detangler spray or something because she's a mess. I knew Shih Tzus were like, you need to brush dogs, but they really, really are. Like I thought I knew, but I didn't know. That's a cute dog. Is that just a Twitch emote? Oh, it is. It's a Frankers. Franker. The classic. I was like, that looks familiar. Looks iconic. I'm trying not to take as long, but you know me. Had to refresh. You know, Twitch has been like that for me too. I had to refresh Zeb's stream like at least a dozen times throughout the night. And I don't know if it's super recent or maybe it's just me. It was happening really frequently the other night though. Welcome back, Risa. I am darkening up this area. It's looking better. This is the area I redarkened. You can see a pretty clear difference compared to like what I'm about to darken. At least for the purple. The purple is the one I think I altered the most. I just want it to be a little more like painterly, I guess, and just textured. I'll take a sip. I actually have like the teeniest little bit of soda left, but I'll take a sip of water too after I do this. Because I really should. It's funny, like I look at this palette by itself, and I'm like, God, that looks so Easter. But on the canvas, it's not reading as Easter. Still a little bit, but I think because there's no green. I think when I think of Easter, I think of like soft pastel greens. This doesn't really have that. And I don't really want a lot of green in this. The inspiration is cotton candy, Candyland, sweets, that kind of stuff. All right, that looks great. Let's just go ahead and phase in lots of purple in the tops of these little sections here. I'm still debating what color the gazebo needs to be. I almost feel like a white would kind of be nice. But I don't know if it would read as unfinished or what. Blending's just so fun. Or at least maybe fun's not the right word. It's like a very engaging mental practice every time. It's a constant, like, reactive process. Like, I want this to look a little less striped. I'm gonna blend some more teal, kind of irregularly. It's a tough one for me. I guess I shouldn't worry about the slats too much. I can clean all those up. Meter. All right, then we just need our dark blue. There we go. I think I'll be able to use a pretty good amount of these colors on some of the foliage in the foreground here. I think I'll have to, like, instead of keeping the sponge as wet as I did, because I'm using, this is like a palette with the paint on the top of a piece of paper and then like a cellulose sponge underneath. And it's like airtight container. It's got a snap-on lid. So I can reuse these paints for a couple days. But I think I need to like squeeze out and change the sponge every day. I need to get a couple different sponges, honestly, so they don't like mold. Or so it doesn't. There's only one sponge, so it doesn't mold. Because it will. And then I'll have to throw it away. And I'll have no sponges. And then what will I do? But yeah, I should ideally just use a sponge overnight, put it out to dry, and replace it with a different sponge. So I'm rotating out sponges that have been able to fully dry. In a perfect world, that's what I would do. Oh, congrats again on making affiliate, Bobby. If y'all aren't following Bobby, if you're here and you're not following Bobby, give Bobby a follow. You already made affiliate, but more follows can't hurt. Hold on. Bobby does Mario Maker, Jackbox, Goose Goose Duck, and who knows what in the future. You never know. To be determined. Bobby's a wild card. You just don't know yet. Sorry, I've been like, since I stream so infrequently, I've almost forgotten Twitch etiquette as far as like, and also the rules in my space are generally not that rigid anyway. Sometimes I just forget to even mention that people stream. Because I also get in the zone, you know? But I know y'all are chill. You don't really care. It's not like that here. Gremlins 2. Oh shit. That game was hard. I remember playing that game when I was a kid. It's probably still hard as hell. If it's the game I'm thinking of, I'm pretty sure it is. I remember just like being Gizmo and wandering around in like an office building, praying for the end. Gilligan's Island has an NES game. Oh, I definitely never beat Gremlins 2. Have you ever played Guardian Legend? That was always one of my favorite NES games, and it's kind of... Maybe it's not as obscure these days, but it's hard. So it's like a mixture of a top-down flying shooter with like a Zelda-esque 2D adventure kind of game, but like a sci-fi theme. There's like sections. So there's flying sections and there's like on foot sections. And instead of, well, I think there might be some melee weapons, but it's mostly like guns. Even when you're like walking around. I suggest checking it out. It's tough. The bosses in the flying sections are brutal. I don't think I ever beat that as a kid. I got pretty far, but I never beat it. I don't know if I'll ever beat it, but I love it. It's called The Guardian Legend. I can probably, hold on, pull up like a video on it real quick. Let's see. Let me pause that. I'm just gonna, well, I'll just mute this video and keep the music playing. Let's see. Oh. Okay. Oh, and it starts like immediately into the game. It's so interesting. All right. Let me bring up my... Oh, you got it in your ROMs pack? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Let's see. Here it is. Oh wait, no, that's me. Oh. All right. Here it is. Maybe I can make this slightly bigger. Get rid of my bookmarks for a little more space. There we go. It's slightly cropped. There we go. Even better. So this is it. So it's, you know, it's like one of these types of games. But it's like spacey. I think you're on the planet and you go down into like these flying sections that are inside the planet or something like that. I'm not sure exactly of all the lore. It's probably not that deep. But it's tough. I'm telling you, it's hard. So yeah, it's sections like this, and then you'll occasionally face like bosses. This first boss is just like a series of things that shoot at you. And then the other sections are these like Zelda-esque wandering around bits. Pretty good music. It's like, I don't know, probably, I don't remember it being terribly glitchy, but like it definitely takes a moment for like the enemies to load in and shit like that. But yeah, you can get different guns. I think you can find different guns throughout get different weapons. But yeah, that's essentially it. Repeated sections like the flying one and then this to find the next flying section all the way until you get to the end. I want to show there's some fucking crazy looking bosses in here though. Look at this guy. Giant fish, giant alien flying heads, stuff like that. I always thought it was a great game. I probably made it. As a kid, I thought I got really far, but I probably did not get that far. Honestly, don't know. Oh, here's another fun guy. The spaghetti monster. Flying spaghetti monster. This one's hard. Oh, we got a shitty ad here. Those like ribbons that come out of the eye will like kill your ass instantly. Oh, it's so hard. I'm also like, I've always been kind of impatient when it comes to games. I'm bad at learning patterns because I just get too impatient. You've never heard of this? The Guardian Legend. Let's see. This is a long play, 2 hours. Did this person really beat this whole game in 2 hours? I wouldn't be that surprised. Probably they did. But yeah, it's chill. You should check it out. If you ever have some time to kill and want to just try a random ass Nintendo game from way, way back, try that one. All right, we're going back to the GameCube music and the painting. Give it a go. I should give it a go. It's been a minute since I've replayed it. I know Nintendo games were always so punishing, though. And they still are. I remember the first time I beat Contra as a kid. I was so proud of myself. I don't know if I ever beat it again, but that one in particular, I was pretty proud of myself. It was a toughie. There's also this, I don't know how this game's critically held today, but there's an old NES game called Kung Fu that I found to be pretty challenging. I don't know if I ever beat that. Still, I'm too afraid to do Zelda 2, I'll admit it. I don't think I can. I don't know about that one. Luigi's Mansion. Exterior. I wish I could play copyrighted music. I miss the days. I really did get spoiled in the first year. I should say years. I really did stream with music for a while before I started streaming Animal Crossing. Those were the times. Which was a much more, what's the word? Forgiving platform. That's true. Don't they still store them on a server though? I feel like it's been a minute since I read on that. Really, I just want VODs so I can export them over to YouTube, but they'd go over to YouTube pre-muted for the most part. Ooh, another good one. I could do one night only. And then I could just delete the VOD after I export it. Oh, I gotta see this clip. Hold on. I definitely never made it that far, Bobby. Sorry, I just saw the... I never made it to that boss. Is that the end? Maybe that's the final boss. Gremlins, man. Looks kind of scary. Look at all that jittering and like the little electrical balls just disappearing. Oh, there's two more after him? He looks tough. You can post it. I don't think I have links blocked. You can post it in chat if you want. If anyone else would. Gremlins. Poor Gizmo. Mohawk Gremlin with machine gun, then Mohawk Spider Gremlin. I sometimes wonder if some of the music I play would like even get picked up. Some of it's like, I mean, it probably would. Some of it's a little like obscure and just ambient noise. They have very sophisticated technology to bust people like me from playing a simple song. Or 2. Or 20. Ah. I remember, what was it? Metroid had like these big long passcodes that were like super complex. That always stuck out to me. Still does. Be like, how did you get to that? Do you have the code to get to that part? And everyone would be like, I didn't write that down. It's too difficult. What was another classic NES game I played a lot of? Yonoid was an obvious classic. I didn't own that one though. I actually played that one a lot at like a friend's house. Double Dragon. Very, very hard. Brutal. Yeah, I saw you playing that too. The Ninja Turtles arcade. Well, no, not the arcade game. Just the like adventure game. Though the arcade one was pretty hard too. The infamous swimming level. But yeah, for sure, the Ninja Turtles games. God, I forgot about those until you said that. Game Genie? Yeah. We didn't have a Game Genie. But I always wanted one. You never beat the first Turtles game? I'm sure I didn't either. There was what was another one? We used to have a lot of Nintendo games as a kid. I'm surprised how many we had. It was probably expensive as hell for my mom. To buy all that bullshit. We had some old game called Demon Sword, which was impossible to navigate through as a child because every environment looked the same. I just remember like running infinitely on that game for long periods of time. Oh, what was there was like TNC Surf Company or something where you could skateboard, surf, and what was the other thing? It was a classic. I don't remember. It's something Surf Company. It had some brief time as like a meme revival with like the Donkey Kong looking gorilla that was like floating on a life ring. Oh, that's not my towel. Oops. That was my robe. Skate or Die, yeah. Damn, I'll have to pull up footage of the Surf Company game too. It was a stone cold classic in our house. I don't know how enjoyable it is to play today. It's probably pretty repetitive, but it was a blast as a kid. It was like a 2D skating game. The surfing portions were kind of odd. TNC Surf Designs, yeah. That's the one. I knew it was something like that. Let's see. Town and Country Surf Designs. Wood and Water Rage. It's a mouthful. Oh, my mouse sucks, man. Alright, let's see. Oh, shit. I gotta click that.
How many do I have left? 3 bombs.
Oh, this is tense. Oh my god, look, that was smooth. Sorry, I'm not showing it on stream, but there's 15 seconds. Oh my god, the electric seaweed. Jesus. Damn, look at that pro swimming. Oh, oh my god.
1 second to spare. Wow. They actually made a level Mario Maker based on this whole damn level.
Fucking crazy. Well done. Oh my god, you did that on a keyboard. Jeez. I'm impressed. Alright, here's TNC Surf Designs. It's pretty chill. Oh, Star Tropics. That was another good one. So yeah, you would just skate, avoid obstacles. You could grind. Oh, check out the grinding. I always like the skating sections. The surfing sections were kind of a chore. It probably is a nightmare to control. Maybe it was just like the surfing was a little beyond me as a kid, so I never picked it up right, but the skating was just like straightforward, avoid obstacles type stuff, you know? But yeah, so that's the skating portion. Let's skip to a surfing portion. God, my mouse is a piece of shit, man. Damn. Does he ever surf? Oh no, here we go. My computer desktop for a good 4 or 5 years was this monkey guy on Hokusai's Wave. Somebody like photoshopped him into Hokusai's Wave, which is like that iconic Japanese style art painting of the wave with the boat. Like the one when you think of Japanese, you know, style art, that's like the most famous one. Is he gonna make it? Oh my god, he's getting sucked into the wave. He's not gonna make it. I guess you just had to stay. I don't know. I couldn't. It was just hard. You remember the surfing monkey? Look at him go. He's pretty good. Oh. Oh my god. I want to see him wipe out. Oh, he made it. Nice. The judges award him first place. Oh, wonder if I still have that desktop somewhere. Oh, I knew it was going to bring it up over there. Let's see. I would just be in like screen? No. I'd be kind of bummed if I don't have it anymore. I probably don't. Oh, here's one of my favorite images from this guy. It's the untitled goose getting chased by a gay leather guy with a flogging whip. How cute is that? Warms my gay heart. Sorry, it was like blown up to infinity. Random shit on my computer for 100, please. I don't think I have that picture anymore. Why would I ever get rid of that desktop? It's probably just buried in some folder. There's no telling. Did I have the foresight to rename it? No, I didn't. Who knows where it is, if it's even still around. My computer's so disorganized. Like, it's not 1,000 things on my desktop disorganized, but it could stand to be dealt with. Anyway, enough of the surfing monkey. I guess I'll go back to painting again. I suppose. So I have like a download directory on my desktop that where like fresh and new things go. Some of the stuff in there is now like 3 to 5 years old. And then I have like a extended directory also off my desktop. That's like slightly organized. Things will get moved from the direct download folder to there into a semi-organized state. All your files in the root directory folder. Organizing files is so tedious though. Oh my god. There's a reason people don't want to do it. It's too much. I also have like really started running out of room on this computer. Mostly because when I make a time-lapse painting video, I have to download all the VODs from YouTube that I uploaded. And it just eats up so much space. So I'm constantly like on the edge. I've been so lackadaisical about like presenting this one on stream. Usually I try not to ever move the camera or ever move the painting, but with this one I've been like turning it and doing whatever. So I don't know if it'll translate as well to a time-lapse video. I do, yeah. I need a definitely like a standalone drive. I have like an old LaCie, but I'd be surprised if it even turns on at this point. It was more like a pre-streaming music library. Now that I stream music, it's basically obsolete. But I should get another one. I think I have like a small one around here somewhere. It's like I bought within the last like 5 years. I just don't know where it is. Before I moved in this apartment, we moved a lot in the previous like 3 years. But this will be... We're now in the 3rd year of being in this apartment. We've been here 2 full years and 2 months. But I just... It's probably in a box or a bag somewhere. I just never bothered to unpack because it was like old electronics. Cords and shit like that. You know how you have a box of like cords? It's probably in there. At least I do. 40 gigs of MP3 still on your drive. Oh, I'm sure it's still on there. But I probably wouldn't even listen to half of it anymore. The good thing about the Stay Wet palette too is I can talk and just bullshit and not have to worry about the paint drying in a short amount of time. Kind of loving it. I had one of these that was like really big. It wasn't really feasible to like hold in my hand like this one is though. So I'm glad I bought this. I wonder what my phone will do if I try to switch to Spotify on my computer for a second. I know it'll fuck up my AirPods. I just want to play music on stream for a second and be bad. No, I mean, I didn't know what I was doing, sir. Deniability all the way. Gonna do it. We're gonna pause this beautiful Harvest Moon music and come back to it after I play a couple songs. Let's see how this makes the stream and or my computer completely lose its mind. Hold on, let's see. What's gonna happen? Oh, the music went gone. It's gone. It went gone, y'all. Hold on. Okay, it wants to play it through my phone because I'm already playing it on my phone. Interesting. Okay. So what if I pause it on my phone and then try to play it here? It's not going to do that. It wants to play it on my phone now. So I'd have to close Spotify on my phone. Or else it'll just automatically go to that. Yeah. So now it's, yeah, okay. Yeah. And let me bring my AirPods on. It'll cut the music out again. And then I just have to reselect my audio source. Hold on. Right now, this is very dramatic. Twin Peaks. Piano music. If you want to know what I'm listening to, Last FM will tell you. Oh. Or my Spotify profile. This is a playlist of my 100 favorite songs between the years of 2010 and 2019. 100 favorites, the tens. We'll see. It could get a little weird. I try to make a playlist every month on Spotify, or just in general, not necessarily on Spotify, but since it's the platform I use, that's where they're getting made right now. But a playlist every month, 12 playlists a year, and then a top 100 every year. Which is basically just my favorite songs pulled from the mixes and maybe a couple of others like sprinkled in that were just like earworms, you know? But they didn't make it onto a playlist. And they're not necessarily all songs that were released in that year, but it's like I may have discovered that artist that year kind of thing. A lot of ambient music, a lot of piano music, some electronica. Oh, I should probably turn it down a smidge. My Spotify's a little louder than YouTube was. All right. That whole section's been repainted. Hey, Haley. How's it going? Happy Monday night. Whatever's going on over there on a Monday night. Hope it's going well. All right, I can definitely use these colors in other areas. More than a woman. I'm doing well. I have tomorrow off. Tallulah gets groomed. Me and my husband will probably grab a bite to eat somewhere tomorrow while we're waiting on her to be groomed. And yeah, maybe I'll paint a little more tomorrow. I've gotten a lot of painting done in the past weeks by my standards, so I feel pretty good. Let's see what to do next. I guess I could see if I need to do a side real quick. Yeah, I could stand to do some stuff on the side real quick. Let's see. I'll try and show as much as I can. Yeah, I'm just chilling tonight, having a nice, relaxing time, doing some painting. Happy to just be chilling, relaxing. Aw, Haley, that's sweet. Just added a posture check, take a drink, stretch, point reward to your channel. Right? I'm bad about it. I don't know what other channel points rewards to add at this point. What else is there, you know? Oh, good night, Haley. Yeah, get some rest. Thanks for popping in and saying hey. I hope you have amazing dreams. I'll take a sip. I'll do it right now. I finished my Coke. We got some classic rebottled. When I get a bottled water, which I try not to, but I do. I try to use it for a couple weeks before I recycle the bottle. I'll do my best on posture. It's a little hard for me when I'm painting because I'm constantly like looking down and bending over. I think I need to add in like a red or pink as like an accent. The pink I have right now is very baby, very soft. I think I'd like to do some of these spiky grass, the bigger spiky grass bits and like a reddish pink. I think that would be pretty. So funny when I listen to music, it's very much like, since I make playlists all the time and I'm like constantly like listening to different stuff or trying to, it's like music very much becomes associated with periods of my life, you know? It's like listening to a song becomes like a memory. That's true. Yeah, I try not to keep them super duper long, because that definitely does happen. It'll start to taste a little funky. I've always been someone who kind of like strongly identifies with music too as an art form. I find it even more so than visual art. I find it the most like affecting art form. At least for me personally. Bump, bump, bounce. Good night, Rissa. Thank you for the raid. And thank you for being here. I hope you get some good rest. And I can't wait for you to see the painting again. It's what I'll be streaming for the foreseeable future. Unless I just really am in a video game mood. So be prepared to see a lot of this thing. Because it ain't going nowhere. I think that's just gibberish. I don't know. I don't know if she's... I don't know. I was just phonetically saying it. And the sheets were stained too. Hey, Knives. Mwah. Enjoy the DVD. Oh shit, I forgot to log on the past 2 nights to get free blood points. The last 2 nights I logged on, I played like 10 matches, only survived 2, and it's because the killer's disconnected. I played 8 matches out of 10 and died every time. The only ones I survived were DCs. I was like, fuck, is something going on with this game? Or is it me? It's probably me. Oh, I'm an easy mark. For sure. I'm always the first victim in the movie. %. I'm the virgin going for a glass of water. Who never comes back. And they find dead, stuffed into the icebox later, or whatever, you know. That horror movie moment. And you know what? I've come to accept it. Though when I get a good loop in that game, nothing feels better. Fun song. Totally weird. Ooh. Okay, this might be a little too weird for stream. I love it, but it's out there. I fucking love this song. What the X for? I don't know. I don't even know if the song... I know the Spotify lyrics aren't really reliable. Yeah. Who knows? Yo, hey Drac. I'm just chilling, getting some painting time in tonight. Being bad and listening to copyrighted music because I was just fed up. So I'm being bad. Totally bad. How's it going though? Tired. Yep, Monday nights have that effect. Absolutely. Work laptop's broken for 4 days. IT people are like, no, it's fixed. Like, then why can't I do anything? Please. User error. Oh, they're pulling the user error card on you? Oh, shit. That's too far. Is E3 canceled? Is it really? I have no idea. I don't keep up with video game news enough to even know that. Oh shit, it was canceled. 25 Windows Linux, excuse me. Engineer and developer. Even the digital one was. That's so weird. I mean, I guess I'm sure they have their reasons, I guess, but huh. Yeah, this pale orange is pretty pale. I don't think you can really. I mean, you can see orange. It's just not like in your face orange. So actually, it kind of works. This is a great song. This is one of my favorite songs maybe ever. Rupert is so fucking good. To focus on 2023, damn. I guess after Nintendo was like, no Zelda this year and nothing, everyone else was like, okay, E3's canceled. Honestly, just cancel video games. Video games are over, y'all. Pack it in, folks. Pack it in. It's over. Everybody's gone home. Yeah, I'm just gonna make my own video games with blackjack and hookers. Thanks for encouraging me, Bobby. This orange is nice. And it plays really well with these like blue and aqua tones that I have all over the place. I was kind of hoping we'd get like some Splatoon 3 footage or something. Like, is Nintendo still gonna do like a treehouse and stuff? They should. They probably won't. Share a meme about that right now on Discord. Let me open Discord. Yeah, I guess they can do their own presentations. Maybe everyone's just been like, E3 is basically pointless. I want y'all to be honest. Does anyone actually, do y'all watch the Game Awards? I have never watched that in my life. But I guess I just don't play the kinds of games that get recognized in that kind of way. So, kind of makes sense. I don't really want to hear Radiohead right now. Or James Blake. Alright, I like orange for those, so I'm just gonna keep doing that. That'll probably take up the rest of the night. What I need to do is just fill in bits like this and then just decide what colors are going to look good. And like, cause this is going to have like these white bits around it. So just need to figure out what color is going to contrast well with that and frame it nicely. Ooh. Got like a big hair. Tulu the hair. This pink and orange are like so similar in tone, you almost can't tell them apart at a distance. Like when I squint, it's the same color basically. I was gonna say, did it freeze? It didn't, so we're good. Might have to take me a quick little pot tea break. I just started blending this area, so now I have to see this through before I get up. Oh my god, these Tallulah hairs are just like materializing on all my stuff. By the way, to anyone out there who is listening or lurking, if you want to know what's playing, I'm sure I already spammed this earlier, but my Last FM will tell you exactly what's playing at whatever moment, and just in general, Spotify. Yeah, sometimes the Last FM doesn't update properly, but it is updating properly right now. I think it might be coming off. It's got to be coming off my lap towel. I always keep a towel in my lap that I can like quick dry the brush on. I almost want to make an additional orange with like, I think I'm going to after this area, make an additional orange that's got like a bigger kick of yellow, so it hits a little bit more. Because I like this subdued, soft, like reddish orange, but I think like a really bright, poppy yellow orange would be nice to have in. I can use that one a little more judiciously. This is gonna be my masterpiece, y'all. After I'm dead, maybe this will be the one they show somewhere, some far corner of the planet. If the planet's still around. Who knows? Honestly, who knows? All right, I'm gonna take a quick breather, couple minutes, stretch my legs. Oh my god, it's already one. I started late. It's already like almost 2. Let me put my lid on my palette while I'm gone. Yeah, I'll be back in like 5 or less. Enjoy the tunes. I'm just gonna let these tunes play. So I hope you like them. I'll be back in a few moments. Don't forget to stretch, get some water, use the bathroom. Whatever you need to do, do it. I'll be right back. I am back. Hello. Nice break. I'm here. Good to step away for a second. One, it lets me see exactly what I did. Right before I stepped away, this area is looking like it's drying a little unevenly, which is fine. I can fix it. This one's better. I also was like, wait, there's really not that many big pieces of grass. I mean, these are like separate plants. There's a piece here, piece here. There's a couple sprinkled down here. Thanks, Bobby. I like the orange color though. I think I'll just stick with it. I don't really need a yellowy orange. Softer is okay. That's kind of what I'm going for in general. I gotta constantly tell myself that over and over. Retell myself that over and over. I mean. Blonde Redhead's about to release another album. I'm kind of excited. Their last one was really not received well. And it's not great, but it's still pretty good. There's some really good songs on there. Blonde Redhead's like a Sonic Youthy kind of indie band, I guess is how you would classify them. They kind of evolved into like a dream pop thing, which I prefer this kind of Blonde Redhead, the dream poppy stuff. It's where your mind wants to go. This is their best song. This is the best song they've ever done. And it's like one of their more recent songs. So. Which is surprising to me. Because if you listen to some of their 90s stuff, it is like a totally different band. This song's misleading too, because a lot of their stuff does not sound like this. Yeah, I helped my husband paint his salon yesterday. I'm sure I already mentioned this, but we started at I had to do 3 coats. I did like a coat of primer and 2 coats of paint. I started, and it was like a 20 by 10 wall. Granted, I'm not the fastest worker. Like, I do it right, but I'm not fast. But we had breakfast at 8. Probably got there by 8:45ish. Maybe a little before 9. And I didn't finish putting on the 3rd coat until 7:45. So basically the entire day. I told him originally yeah, I can get it done by 5 or 6. No. It's that third coat. It was brutal. But it was worth it. Because it just looks so much better. Like, I know it sucks to have to do 3 coats. Trust me. But it just ends up looking so much more full and like velvety if you just do that third coat. But I'm saying a coat of primer and 2 coats of paint. And we did like a dark gray. And I had the primer tinted to like a pretty dark gray. It wasn't a match to the gray of the paint, but it was close enough to where, since we were covering a light color, it was like put on the primer to get a lot of that lightness out of there, so even the first coat's not that streaky. And then just do the darker gray on top of the gray primer. And it worked great. That wall won't have to be repainted for a long time. Maybe I'll go back with like a yellow glaze and just do a yellow tip on these or something. That would probably be really nice. Like layers, like obviously I'll say this and never remember that I ever said this. But yeah, like a yellow glaze. Very transparent, like brushing of yellow. The infamous Harry Potter games for PC. I never played a Harry Potter game. Honestly, I didn't ever watch a Harry Potter movie until well after I met my husband. So that would have been like 2014 or 15 probably. Well after the mania. Harry Potter mania had died down. I'm telling y'all, for as much video games as I've played, honestly, my scale and the focus of games that I've played is like pretty narrow. The graphics are a meme. Are they? I guess I should look it up. Honestly, like the PlayStation 2 era does not hold up that well. Is that a hot take? I feel like that's a hot take. You've been playing Hades, by the way, obsessed with it. I have thought about getting Hades so many times and I just haven't bit the bullet. I eventually bit the bullet on Hollow Knight and I loved it, but I barely played it. But it's just feels right. There's just so many games I play for enough time to get super interested and just never pick back up. But I should get Hades because, I mean, obviously, it's a great game because people... You know a game's good when it has, like, mass appeal like that, but it's not... God, I love the noises in that song. They're a little over the top, but I love them. Sorry, tangent. I can just tell Hades is, like, a game that flows really well, just by what I've watched. Hey, Alt. Welcome. I'm being bad and playing copyrighted music. My top 100 favorite songs from the 2010s. You love the Mario Kart drawing? Yay! Thanks. I was like, I just feel like doing a little Mario Kart sketch. I'm glad you loved it. It was fun to draw. Art streams for the foreseeable future, I guess, until some Mario Kart DLC comes out. Or Splatoon 3. Surely they're gonna release another bit of the DLC before, like, late summer. I would hope. But who knows? Anyway, some of these songs are a bit of a blast from the past because this spans all the way back to 2010. Now for you. Yeah, it's like just enough orange. Wish they would drop 2 circuits every 2 months. That would be great. Those first 2 were great. I was pleasantly surprised. And hope to continue to be pleasantly surprised. Let's see. I'm sure. I mean, I was expecting to be really let down by the Mario Kart Tour courses, but Paris is great. Tokyo's pretty good too. And Ninja Hideaway, this already like a classic that I'm terrible at, but still really fun. Yeah, Paris is Slide Central. It just feels, yeah, fun to play. It's like you don't hear songs you loved so much so many years ago. You just listen to it and it hits you a totally different way. Ninja Hideaway is kind of a mess, but I feel like that's part of why it's so good. It's tough. There's a lot of weird parts in it. these graphics. Let me see. Oh. Yo, that's pretty bad. I'm getting Bobby Hill, not Ron Weasley. I can't believe Sony didn't. Shocking. I'm shocked. I was like, what is it? I just didn't know what I was looking at. Hallucination. Song gives me the chill bumps. It's great. Oh, the production on this song. What's Up on as a song called What Is and What Should Never Be. I mean, I gotta at least. I know it's a visual novel. But there's no way. I can't even comment on this. It just does not look. Nah. Sorry, I'm skimming footage. No fucking way. That looks putrid. That looks shocking. What the fuck? I can't. No. Oh my god. What? Whoa. Just wanted to back away from my computer for a second. Here. Hold on. There we go. Oh, I feel much better. I'll say this. Execution, strong. Concept, 4. I think they did what they were trying to achieve. I just don't think it was meant to be. Is all. All right, that piece of grass for some reason took like 20 minutes. I don't know. Guess I'm reaching the end of my rope here for the night. I like the small touch of orange. I think it works. I didn't want to go with orange, but I think the orange feels nice. There's still purple in there too. It's orange into purple. Sorry, I'm just pondering like what I'm thinking about colors that I can use in the future. It's like once you put one color in, I kind of have to like readjust, or you know, like what would look good with that thing that I just did. I'm gonna finish this piece of grass tonight at least. I don't want to add green. Green's like the main color I'm trying to stay away from. Are you messing with me? What? I'm thirsty. We have our green up here, which is like a teal. The camera doesn't pick it up very well. It's much more teal than the camera makes it look like. Camera gives it kind of a gray cast. It's pretty vibrant actually. Right here. And this little thing around that white circle, and over here. But you can see it a bit better over here.
You know, an insult that we often put onto a lot of folk is like,
oh, you're doing too much.
And so like a couple years ago I was like, you know what, my eternal resolution will be
to do too much.
Yes. I love it.
Ooh. This is an old favorite. When did this come out? This must have been like 2010. Had to be like right. 2011. I love this song. I mean, there might be I thought about doing the water in like this kind of jade green, but I don't know. I don't know. Decisions don't get made until I'm sitting here staring at it and it's right in front of me. Some of these parts are gonna have to have 2 coats too. I was really aggressive with the penciling. I could have been way lighter. But I've always had like a heavy hand when it comes to drawing and writing. I squeeze the pencil, even like the paintbrush sometimes. I'm like, God, I have such a death grip on it. That's just the way I've always like held my writing utensil though. Yeah, I've caught some good momentum on this painting this week. It's felt nice. I know every week won't be able to be like this, but it has felt nice this week to get like a good 7 or 8 hours at least of painting. It's a rare treat these days. Oh. I love how the whole song is just all ad-libbing vocals. It's like, I don't think he actually says a single word. And you know the name of that song is Indigo. No relation to my Animal Crossing town, but still fun. Yeah, this front's gonna take a long time. As long as the sky is taken, I think this will probably take twice as long just to do the fills. And the sky took about What, a month? I don't even know. I don't even know when I started this. I'll have to look. This song straight up gives me Fantastic Planet. I had to wake up one of these days and... Oh, you hope... Yeah. I thought that was leaked. Wasn't that leaked? Indigo is still going. Slowly, things are getting done behind the scenes with that. I do a little bit each day, you know. I think the Fantastic Planet reference in this song is intentional. You actually believe the leaks? I kind of do too. Game Boy Advance has some good stuff, so it'll be worth it. Give me Final Fantasy Tactics Advance 1 and 2 first. And then we can go from there. They 100% will not do that. Fantastic Planet was an old animated movie from the 70s about humans that were like miniature pets for like giant blue alien humanoids on another planet, like an alien planet. It had this really like dark 60s jazz space kind of soundtrack. Which to me this song reference is like referential to. It's they're like blue fish looking humanoid giants with like red eyes. And the humans are like ant size to them. Well, maybe not as small as ants, maybe like they're pretty tiny. I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube in like fragments. It's definitely on some streaming services. I can't remember which ones. Maybe not. Maybe my husband just bought it. That's also possible. It's definitely pretty out there. Definitely like psychedelic 70s animation. I think it was 70s. I could be wrong. It could be like early 80s or something. I don't know. Seems pretty old to me. '73. Oh. Yeah, like the cover of this release is like a blue woman leaning on a windowsill smoking a cigarette. with like cubist looking figures having sex behind her and her reflection in like the window. It's interesting. I love album art. That's one thing I kind of miss. Like the streaming era has kind of really streamlined and cheapened so much album art. I think this song's from the streaming era, but still, it's like, to me, it has very memorable album art. Probably because I mentally associate it with Fantastic Planet, so it's like sticks out to me. Yeah, I'd say it's an art film. I mean, for 1973 when it was made, it was pretty out there. I mean, 73, I feel like 73 in terms of like modern pop culture is very early. I mean, that's what, like 3 years after the Beatles broke up? It's like very early. I essentially define the modern era of pop culture with the Beatles. The Boomers. The Beatles. For me, so yeah, for me, that's pretty early. 1973. What else was happening in 1973 in terms of pop culture? Let's find out. Let's go on a tangent. Should probably cover up this paint. Actually, that might have been a good stopping point in general. Hold on though. This song drags on, but it gets so soft and like beautiful at the end here. I guess we'll let Grouper take us out here. Pretty fitting. Is there anyone around to raid? Do a quiet little raid tonight? You forgot about, yeah, if you want a gap pin, just, you know, tell me where to send it. I'll send you one. A gappy can be yours. Let's see. Oh my god, I gotta mute. Oh, I knew it was gonna, I was too slow. Who's around? It's late. Oh my god, it's so late. I'm gonna raid Nabi Ra. Nabi Ra is a Korean streamer who's playing Dead by Daylight. VTuber. I just love listening to her and watching Dead by Daylight mostly. Oh, she's about to get found by a nurse. Oh no. Anyway, I don't know if they'll even acknowledge the raid. I don't know. I've never raided them. And they're just chilling playing Dead by Daylight. You can spam some hearts. If you're around to spam some hearts, please spam some hearts. But it's bedtime. Oh my god, I can't even. I probably won't be around tomorrow afternoon. Because we have to drop Tallulah off at like 1 for her groomer appointment. It's like late in the afternoon. So I won't be able to do any kind of like afternoon thing. So I probably won't be back around until Saturday night unless I can squeeze in like a relatively early ending night stream to do like an hour and a half or 2 hours of painting if possible. That kind of thing. It'd be a very short stream if I popped on a weeknight. So, but I'll try and at least lurk a little bit for Jackbox tomorrow. Who knows? I just haven't been on Twitch very much, and that just, oh my god, I'm getting the hiccups. It just continues to be a story. It's hard to find time. But I'll be around. I'm still lurking out there occasionally. You may find me out there in a chat list near you. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Thanks for being here, Bobby, Alex, Drac, Haley, Alt, Knives, Rissa, thank you for the raid. I know, Rissa, you already went to bed, but if you catch the end of this on a VOD or something, thank you for the raid. Anyone who I missed, thank you for being here. Pumpkin Queen, appreciate it, y'all. Have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your week. Hopefully I'll see you again before Saturday, but if not, look out for me on Saturday night. Hopefully I can stay awake on Saturday. Chances are high. I'm getting more and more motivated to work on this painting, like the more frequently I do it. So All right, mwah. Good night, sleep tight, sweet dreams. Get your heart emotes ready for Navi Ra. I'll go ahead and do a quick shout out so you can get ahead of the ads. And then I'll just do the raid. Appreciate it, y'all. Have a good day tomorrow. Bye.